Today I will talk to Cathy, CELTA Trainer and ELT expert. Hello Cathy, how are you today?
Very well, and I'm so happy to see you once more, Jehoon, after our wonderful meeting in Baku last year.
Oh, that was a really eventful moment.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So today, we'll clarify many questions about CELTA, online CELTA, and predictions for this summer.
Okay.
But first of all, can you tell me about yourself a little more, so for public, please?
Okay. Well, as you know, we met a number of years ago when I was training you in Georgia. So I've worked as a CELTA trainer for quite a long time. I've been working in language schools and as a teacher trainer for many different levels of teachers, from university down to teachers of primary school. So I've done all of those sorts of things. I've also got a master's in linguistics and a master's in development studies, international development, on the academic side. I also work in a university, Dublin City University here in Dublin. And when I'm not working there, then I work on CELTA programs and I train CELTA teachers, or as I said earlier, teachers for primary schools or for secondary schools. So that's really my background.
Lovely, great. So, Cathy, I have summarized the most frequently asked questions and made a list to keep today's meeting a bit short. So, okay, so let's go for the first question. What is CELTA and why do teachers need it?
Well, CELTA's a course that's validated, a pre-service teacher training course, validated by Cambridge University, Cambridge Assessment, part of the Cambridge University exams that they validate. And CELTA is called the gold standard, or known as the gold standard teacher training course within the English language teaching sector. CELTA enables teachers to, both practicing teachers and initiate teachers, new teachers, to develop the skills necessary to teach very confidently and efficiently in English language classes. In the past, I've trained teachers who are both practicing teachers and newly fresh graduates just out of university. I've also trained people who have worked in another sector, for example, journalism or in law or in something else, and have decided for one reason or another that they'd like to try to teach English either face-to-face or online, and this training course will help them with the necessary skills in order to do those sorts of classes. Okay. And again, what's very important is that you receive a certificate from Cambridge University, which will validate your training and say you've passed or you've got an A or a B in this course.
Yeah, great. So, Cathy, as you know, I've been teaching pre-CELTA and pre-TESOL for 4 years. Actually, yes. After completing your CELTA courses, I realized that the program is quite demanding. But what should teachers do or pay more attention to before coming to CELTA?
Very often, Jehoon, it's when we're teaching teachers who don't speak a second language, believe it or not, there are many. Those teachers, maybe with the English language background, don't learn other languages very well. They find the language awareness part of it the most challenging. So just getting used to grammar. Your people who have learnt other languages, and you're fortunate enough to have 2 or 3 languages or more, do not find the grammar challenging because you've had to learn it already. However, those teachers or those trainings may find some aspects of looking at meaning of language rather than at grammar, the form. So instead of learning where can I find the shop as a direction, they have to think, directions. How can I give directions? Now, that's what I mean by meaning, rather than form. You know, the question form and the present simple. So it's changing that. I know from your courses, because I've taught teachers who've done your course, I do know that you help to equip them extremely efficiently for the CELTA. And I've seen that. They're very familiar with the staging of a lesson. They're very good at lesson planning. They've learned something about how to approach an assignment. All of which I think is really, really valuable in terms of pre-service CELTA training.
Of course, we do our utmost to make it similar to your program, because I do believe that the program is demanding and it can create stress in teachers. So not only language but also the content of the program. So this is why we do our best, to make something before sending the trainees to your courses. But
and the pride that they can take in completing this pretty stressful 4-week course. Let's admit it's a difficult process, but it's one that people find incredibly rewarding, absolutely brilliantly, helping them to organise, giving them confidence, letting them know that they can now explain something through English, which is really quite challenging, but they do succeed remarkably well.
Okay, so my next question is going to be about online CELTA. The world community has been in lockdown for almost 2-3 months, and many programs have started offering online programs to the world community. So how about CELTA? So what does CELTA say about it?
Yes, it was interesting because my colleague was teaching on a CELTA program which was face-to-face. They had to close the school. They then learnt how to use the online platforms and they continued to teach the course. Cambridge University Assessment gave them permission, and everybody else who was running a course at that time gave them permission to complete the course as 100% online. That meant the input sessions, the assignments, the observation lessons, and most importantly the teaching practice lessons were all done on this platform or one of the other ones, and it was very successful, and they completed it in 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks. But it was very interesting to see how quick the trainees adapted to it. I happened to be able to talk to them about it, and they were really pleased. The trainees were really pleased for several reasons. First of all, that they could complete their training program, but also about how much they learned about online teaching, because many of them have now realized maybe language schools won't open up till Christmas. Maybe we need to be very proficient at online teaching. Maybe this is something that, who knows, employers may find very attractive about our present skills and our situation. So they didn't see it at all as a disadvantage doing it online. In fact, they felt it really gave them an immense amount of confidence, because they knew that they could adapt any of those skills to the classroom when and if they eventually go back into the classrooms.
Yeah, actually, I personally don't find a big difference between in-office or online CELTA, because as a result, both gave international recognized certificates, and it helps teachers to learn more conveniently without traveling from country to country.
That's right. Yeah,
this is another advantage actually.
Yeah.
And the following question, so let me just go. Okay. And my last question, so do you have any idea about possible dates and fees, or have you got any link that we can share in our post and to help our students or candidates?
The dates for the moment will be in June and July. We're looking at 2 courses, I hope, one in June, one in July. The other question that you have about the fees, we're going to, obviously many schools ask between 1,500, 1,800 euros, which is quite expensive. we will be able to offer them slightly less, but I can give more details next week when the school owner, because I'm going to be delivering this course through a school in Ireland, English Academy, when that school owner has worked out how his costs will figure out, because we have to pay something to Cambridge, we have to pay, you know, for advertising.
Yeah, we're going to get information from you and give back to the public. I think that's going to be, because no one knows exact information about this stuff. You're definitely right. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. This is end of our talk, and I think that this video is going to make a lot of things clear to our future candidates and trainees.
For talking to me, Jehoon, what happened to my screen?
Okay, so yeah, I think that, yeah, so I hear you.
So lovely to talk to you.